What up, peeps? It's your girl Josh coming back to you from Real Takes. Today, it's that time again. It's movie news time for this week ending, and I'm excited to get into a couple of things. Going to be discussing things in regards to a film starring Will Smith, Sylvester Stallone, talking about a little bit of Avengers, a little bit of RoboCop. So you know what? Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. So the first order of business I'm going to discuss, of course, I just stated was Sylvester Stallone. We're going to be talking about it because he's now in the process of working on the new Rambo movie, which will be Rambo 5. Now, I'm actually excited because I am a fan. First and foremost, I'm a fan of Sylvester Stallone anyway, but I remember the first Rambo, First Blood, and I love it. Actually, I have it upstairs sitting on my DVD player. I pulled out some oldies but goodies, and that was one of them. I hadn't watched that in a long time, so I decided go ahead and pull that baby out, dust her off a little bit, and watch that, especially when there's nothing on TV. Every now and then, you like the nostalgia. Now, speaking of this one, Rambo 5, I almost want to say this is Rambo 5 Last Blood, because if I'm not mistaken, this looks like it might be the last and final chapter of the franchise for him. Now, you all recall the last one that he made since it's been about a decade now, was the one that was in 2008, which was Rambo. Now, if I remember the synopsis, a little bit of the story was he was basically relaxing, living a quiet life over in Thailand, and from there, the work that he does, he would, I think, charter his boat or whatever and all that. And he was using it at the time to send some aid workers out to their destination. So from there, of course, captured. Then, of course, he has to come save the day, whichever, rescue them. And I think from there, after he, does rescue the actual workers, he ends up returning to the States. And from there, that's kind of where the story will take place. Now, let me read the synopsis that I got for this particular upcoming Rambo movie. It says, Rambo teams up with a journalist to track down and rescue a group of local girls that have been kidnapped by a Mexican sex trafficking ring. After trying settling down to a quiet life stateside at his family ranch, which is where he returned when he went back to the States from the previous movie. It'll be his ranch in Arizona after spending decades, of course, abroad. So I'm actually excited. They said casting has already started. There's also a picture that I think Stone put out where he's actually in the midst of working out. So he's preparing for the role. I'm actually looking forward to that because if I'm not mistaken, they're stating it's supposed to start work sometime later this year. So it might be going towards into the fall when they start working on it. Now, they're claiming they're looking at an early release of 2019, but they're not stating what month. I'm excited to see... just to see who else is going to be cast in this movie. We don't know. Like I said, they are doing casting, but the thing is that they're discussing, and let's talk about their new characters that are going to be added. They're saying the new characters include Robert Seidel, an American involved in criminal enterprise. Then we have a gentleman by the name of Hugo, who'll be a low-level operative. A gentleman by the name of Victor, a more calculating villain. And then we have Gabrielle, a Mexican woman who seems to be bad at cutting hair, if we're hearing the audio, from what they're saying. So the plot details, just a little bit from that, going with the synopsis of the actual movie. But that's quite a little bit to go on. Now, he'd been discussing this off and on for like a decade. And I recall a couple years ago, they said he was in the midst of discussing doing another Rambo, whichever. And I figured it would just be a matter of time. And now he's actually now ready to move forward with this. So yes, the last one was 2008. So it's been 10 whole years. And it'll be sad to see if this probably most likely will be his last and final one to do, because I will say this, and this not to seem like I'm being too mean about it, but time is passing. He's getting older. Same thing like with, case in point, another buddy he's worked with in the past, Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's doing this one. This is going to probably be his way to hand the mantle over for the Terminator franchise. So yes, kind of bringing it to a closure, which is the main movie that basically, honestly, truly put him on a map, even though he did like the other movies like Conan, whatever. Same thing with Stallone. He has a big plethora of work, but this was one of those franchises a lot of people liked him in besides Rocky. So I'm excited to see it. I'm looking forward to it. When I know more about casting, who's actually being cast in those particular characters I read off, and then also when we have the actual month of next year for the release date, I will let you guys know. So, but yes, I'm looking forward to that. Love me some Sylvester Stallone. So, speaking of, hero-like people, I'm just going to briefly talk on this one. I know it just came out this past week. Avengers Infinity War came out, so I'm excited to get that added to my collection. I didn't get it on Tuesday. I'm going to get it because I really enjoyed the movie. I went and saw it twice, and I really, really liked it. I did notice in the movie, they couldn't flush out everybody's character with giving so much of airtime, to watch time, excuse me, for the movie. Everything was basically focused, honestly, on Thanos more so than anybody else. And I feel like a set of individuals were sidelined, and I want to say Captain America and Black Widow. And I said, I'm hoping going into the next one, which is Avengers 4, we'll see more. And from what we're hearing from the Russo brothers, it looks like it is. They're claiming that the Black Widow and Captain America will have a more hard edge moving into, Avengers 4. And I'm actually excited about that. Because even though we saw them a little bit, and the scene I will say that got us kind of excited, a lot of hype, there was so many parts that did, was a scene where they had to come and help Scarlet and Vision. And I actually like that because when we were introduced, and the girl threw her, sword or whatever, her spear, and he caught it. Everybody in my theater literally lost their minds, whichever. And we were just excited that Black Widow showed up and did her thing, whichever. So I just hated that we couldn't. But like you said, when it's that large cast, all these different actors, it's hard to give so much time to each individual one. But I'm going to read what the Russos said. They said definitely going into the next one, they're going to definitely have a hard edge. You'll get to understand what's been happening, of course, because the way they did the time since you see 2 years has passed and, understanding what's been going on with them. They didn't get to go into too much detail about what's been going on with them, whichever, and all that, because I think he was speaking to Rhodey briefly, and then it was just like it kind of moved on to the next scene. So this is what they said. In Winter Soldier, what we found so compelling about the pairing her and Captain America was that he is the paragon of morality and she is a paragon of gray, but they've grown together. And I think when you find them in Infinity War, they've been the secret Avengers for 2 years. They're like a tight-knit family. Now her, of course, Sam Wilson, played by Anthony Mackie, and then of course Steve Rogers, played by Captain America. So it's hardened all of them in a way, with all the things that went on, when they got captured, but then they got out and got really, and started, not to say, but basically go rogue. Whatever, you saw his suit was not the same Captain America suit, especially after the altercation he had with Bucky and Stark, so yeah, I'm looking forward to fleshing a little bit more going into the next one, and I'm looking forward to seeing more, because I figured whatever they couldn't showcase or really get into full detail with Infinity War, we're going to definitely see it in the conclusion next year when Avengers 4 comes out in May, and I'm looking forward to that. So, but yes, I just want to kind of just throw that in there really quickly, whichever, to know about that, because I really enjoyed Winter Soldier and Civil War. I love me some Captain America, and of course the first one, because some people probably didn't like it as much, and I have a couple friends who really didn't. I liked it because it was a little bit of an origin story, and I like a good origin story. I like the way they have laid the foundation for Captain America's story leading up to now, and it's been great. I've been enjoying every one of those movies, honestly. I could watch those by themselves and be perfectly content, even though we have a full body of work from Marvel for 10 years. But yeah, and I'm looking forward to, like I said, definitely seeing after this what they're going to do with Black Widow. Scarlet, of course, going to be doing her movie. It's slated to possibly come out in 2020 because they're going to probably start production in 2019. So I'm looking forward to that. Like I said, definitely probably a little bit of a understanding of her backstory, and then showing her more future, present day, whichever. But then, like I said, we don't know the situation, status of all the different characters, who's coming back, whatever. Also, we don't know who's definitely going to come back, because depending on their contractual obligations, that does play a part as well. So, it is what it is. This is how it goes. When you sign up on these things, you go do it for a couple of years, maybe sometimes 10 years, as you see a lot of them have, but it's going to be time to eventually move on. And it's just going to be real sad once we finally, see next year's movie, to kind of see what's really going on. They're keeping a very tight lip, and I'm kind of glad, because I know some individuals out there would love to leak it, whatever, and just ruin it. I don't want to know anything. I try to avoid other things that they discuss about this, because some people try to put their thoughts on it, their theories or whatever, and I don't want to know anything. Like I said, I have friends who actually read the comments and actually know what's going to happen, but as a respect for me, they don't talk about it, whichever, and I appreciate that. So I just avoid a lot of comments and certain blogs about certain articles, because there's no need for me to be mad, whatever, because if I look at it, that's my own fault. And I'm not trying to do that. So, but moving on from that. So, looking forward to Avengers 4 next year, you guys. Now, speaking of another movie I'm looking forward to, is the Flash movie. I enjoyed Ezra Miller in it. I will tell you, he had his moments in it that were just hysterical. I love the way he portrays Barry Allen. I think he's going to do an excellent job. Now, I do enjoy the Barry Allen we show from The Flash on CW. The guy does a great job, but it was something about him as well that I enjoyed. The little comedic timing, his comments, the way he carried himself around. Batman was funny, and then him being, had a little small little, appearance, of course, in Suicide Squad. Of course, we saw him in Batman vs Superman just briefly in that, and of course in the Justice League, and he left an impression on quite a few people. I will say one thing I didn't particularly like in that movie was the way his run was. I'm hoping it's perfected and is better because it was slightly at times very cringeworthy. So I'm hoping, but I'm excited about that now. Word is out. There is a gentleman who did the movie Game Night, John Francis Daly. He's going to be the actual director, and also I think his name is Jonathan Goldstein. They're both directing the movie together. Also, a girl by the name of Kiersey Clemens who's going to be playing Iris West. I'm excited for her. She has a couple movies that just came out that she did in the last couple of years, and just something most recently this year. Excuse me, I'm trying to remember the name, but it's not coming to. I think it's Heart Beats Aloud. I could be saying the name wrong. I'll probably post the poster somewhere in here. She's, up and coming, like I said. She's been, had a couple movies out for the last couple of years, so she's slowly building her notoriety with that. So hopefully with this one, this will kind of open the doors for her as well. But I'm looking forward to how they're going to do the overall storyline for him. Show the flashbacks of his father. Of course, and being accused of murder he didn't commit, getting locked up. Because, of course, we remember seeing this scene where he's actually at the prison to visit his father, believes in his innocence. Exactly the same thing that we remember from, if anybody watches the CW show it and all. So basically, we'll kind of see it in this type of form. But I'm kind of glad because this has been long overdue. From what I remember hearing a while back, that Israel Miller had actually been brought on to be considered to do the Flash back in 2014. So this has been ongoing for a while. So I'm glad that now they're moving the process along, and now we're going to get the movie. Now they're stating that production begins in February of 2019. So if anything, I'm thinking if they're going to start that with all the other things that DC's trying to put out now, moving forward, starting this year, going into next year, I figure we'll probably have most likely a 2020 release date. So I'm trying to figure out if they're going to do a spring or summer. Gotta be careful because I'm gonna tell you, a lot of these companies are having these movies that I've been talking about for the last month or so. Are all shaping up for 2019 and definitely 2020. So they better find an actual release date and soon, and make sure it's not too close to too much competition, so Flash can get its due in the theaters. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm excited for Ezra, to be in a standalone movie for the Flash. I'm looking forward to seeing that. So that should be exciting, and I'm happy for him. He's hilarious. I think he's funny even when he is not doing that movie because he's very cool, down to earth, and funny. When he did the recent Comic-Con, he came dressed in cosplay. He's just hysterical. I love when individuals, even if their actors don't take themselves seriously, come out there wearing all that and just go with the flow and all that and make people feel like, I'm cool, down to earth, whatever and all that, speak to me, whatever and all that. Let's talk, whatever. So it's nice because he seems like he's really a cool guy. You could probably approach and he would, strike up a conversation with you. So kudos to him. So, but moving on, speaking of another movie, I'm of course excited through DC, is the Joker movie. Another person has been added, and is Zazie Beetz. She's from her, Atlanta fame, and also from Deadpool too. So I'm excited for her. On top of the fact that we have, of course, Joaquin Phoenix at the helm playing Joker, and of course we have Robert De Niro as well. I mean, this cast is shaping up real nicely. I'm looking forward to seeing whoever else is going to keep getting added to the cast. But the thing I'm excited for her, since this is his origin story, I wanted to note exactly what her character portrayed. Her character, first and foremost, her name is Sophie Dumont. And from what they're stating, Sophie is a single mother living on the Lower East Side. Now, the way they put it for her, the rest of her character sort of points as a cynical outlook on life, where she's beaten down by the world corrupt system. Despite the dour outlook, she still catches the interest of Phoenix in the movie. Interesting there. Now, they said she has a hardness to her. Being that she's a single mother, she's doing the best she can. She's trying to trying to make ends meet, worn out by the grind of the city. She understands how the system is stacked against her and people in her community, how unjust it all is, for them. She says she's just trying to catch a break. I'm looking to see how she's going to tie in, with his character. A lot of people, little comments being made where it'd be nice if she ends up could have been, could be going by a different name, but could be considered Harley in this particular movie. Not to say it's not far fetched, that's possible, but I don't think so. We'll have to see because depending on how good this is, I don't see them considering doing another one with Joaquin if everything works out and this does really good, at the theaters. I could be off. I could be wrong. You never know. But I'm looking forward to because basically her character seems kind of a little bland. So basically, it's really going to take her to really bring this character to life and execute it really well for people to really care about her overall character. Because honestly, when I'm hearing about Joker and Joaquin, I'm already down for it because I'm ready to see what he's going to bring to the table. I'm definitely excited to see what Robert De Niro is going to bring to the table as well. So, and it's going to be something to watch. I feel very confident more and more about this particular movie with him and De Niro and Todd Phillips being at the helm. It has me more and more excited for this movie. We have a lot of DC stuff coming out next year. I think is it four movies coming out? If I'm not mistaken, four, is it three? I'm trying to do my math here. We got Wonder Woman. We have Shazam, and we have Joker. I think it's three. I could be off, but I'm thinking it's definitely three. I was thinking four. I don't know why, but yes. So it's quite a bit. So, and that one ending the year out will be really nice. So, but yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. And I'm looking forward to seeing as time goes on. I've been saying the last couple of weeks, other people have been keep adding. And now she's been added to the to the cast. So we'll have to see, who else is going to be tied into this movie because so far so good. And the more and more that they pick some good actors, to do their roles in here, the more and more people feel like, this is going to be a good movie. I'm curious about the one when they do for Jared Leto when he has a standalone, because if this one turns out to be really done very well, talk about competition for his own. Even though we're looking at his Joker from Suicide Squad, but he's going to have to bring it to the table with his own standalone. And Jared is a great actor, so we'll have to see. I'm not going to put all my baskets in Joaquin because both of them are very good actors, so they can make their particular Jokers different and still great. Him and the other, hey, more power to him. Whatever. That's a good actor for you. So, with that said, moving on. Now, another movie I'm looking forward to, and it's going to be considered a sequel, kind of similar to the sequels of Halloween and Terminator, is the RoboCop one. Now, I talked about this a couple weeks ago. Neil Blomkamp, he's actually at the helm of this one. He's come on board, and he's definitely going to be directing this. It's going to be R-rated. I was happy about that. I discussed how I loved the first one. The second one was good. The third one was some garbage. But, of course, they switch it around. Then they tried to do a reboot one back in 2014. It was okay, but it was PG-13, so it was not as lackluster and the things they could have done. The potential was there, but it was just the execution overall for that one was just done very poorly. That I just really didn't like it. And now we have faith that this one's going to be done the proper way. Now, word is out that Neil wants Peter Weller to be a part of this. Now, that would be nice. I wouldn't have no problem with that. People are like, how, if he came back and it's considered a sequel, he put on the suit. Now, one thing is for certain, Peter Weller has said in the past how demanding and draining at times being involved in this particular character and, of course, in that suit. So I don't know. Secondly, nothing against, because you get older. He is now 71, so it'll be a totally different feel of them doing that. Secondly, with him being a little older, I don't know how he looked with just the overall mass part on how it was, and then moving wise. I don't know. So they could have it where he is in it. They take a set off. You can see him and kind of make him look a little bit younger, but it has been a couple of years. So if they're doing it, I don't know if they're going to make it seem like it's only a couple of years later or how many years have passed. That's another reason why I'm interested in seeing when they're doing it as a sequel, how far are the years apart from the last one? How are they going to do this? Are they going to make it seem like it's only a couple of years after the first one? That plays a part. And he has not stated that in the synopsis overall. We don't even know how the writing of the story for the second one is being written. So I just look forward to learning about that part. But it would be nice, not to say Peter Weller might consider coming on board. We don't know any word yet. He's just kind of putting it out there. He probably will eventually reach out to him. And even if he's in there in some sort of capacity, that's fine, because that's kind of like, showing, respect and homage to the original guy from the RoboCop, movie. And it would be nice if they do that. I love when they do that with original people in movies and bring them back in some sort of form as another character, as a passing through scene. That's fine. I love that. They did that with Chris Sarandon when they rebooted Fright Night. I loved his scene. His scene was the only part that was actually great in the movie. No offense, sorry, Colin Farrell, but it was some garbage. But yeah, that was just an example. That's how I truly felt about that. So we'll have to see. I'm looking forward to seeing more and more information. Plus, I want to know who else is going to be cast in this. He has yet to discuss that. So I'm wondering when they're going to eventually start the production. We still don't know. And I was noting it when production is going to start. So that's the next order of business. I'm dying to know so I can bring it to you guys because I'm really ready to see when. Because I'm assuming if they're going to start on this, it'll be most likely in 2019, and then maybe 2020 will be a release for this one as well. So hopefully I'll know more. So when I do, I'll let you guys know. Also, one thing I'm looking forward to, because lately Disney has given us some great live action movies, and I just recently saw one a few weeks ago, and it was Christopher Robin. I loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it. Got a little teary eyed in there. I'm looking forward to, I saw a trailer during that one for, of course, Dumbo. I'm hearing word is out eventually, and I'm waiting for more information for The Little Mermaid. And of course, now we have a first look at Mulan, a live action a picture. And let me tell you, Louis F.A. Ife looks beautiful as Mulan. I'm excited to see this movie. I loved the animation, Disney animation when it came out. Not so long ago, but yes, I love Disney. I love a lot of the Disney animation movies. So I'm looking forward to it because I feel like they're taking their time to do the live actions correctly. So this one is being directed, and let me make sure I get her name right, by Nikki Caro. And what makes this one rather exciting is because she's the second female director to actually be at the helm of a Disney production movie. And that's actually a good thing because the first one was Ava DuVernay, who did, of course, Wrinkle in Time. So I'm actually excited for that. Plus, the cast for this movie is wonderful. We have Jason Scott Lee, Donnie Yen, and Jet Li, just to name a few, but that's enough for me because I'm excited because I like all of them and I recognize all their work. They're great actors. And I love that. And I'm just going to say it honestly, I'm glad it's not being whitewashed. Do it correctly, please. Do not disrespect the movie. You know how the cast was in animation. Let's just keep it like that and do it the right way. So yeah, I'm excited. The more and more there, hopefully they'll show a little bit here and there. We have a long way to go anyway for this movie, you guys, because this comes out in March 2020, if I'm not mistaken. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, March 2020. I don't know why I thought May. So yes, we have a whole year and a half, literally, like more than a year and what 6 months to go. Yeah, so they're doing it the correct way. All the scenes, everything, all the fight sequences, everything is going to probably be beautifully done. I look forward to them releasing a little bit of a teaser trailer. Probably won't be until the end of 2019, which is fine. Yeah, it's going to be something to watch. I can already see I'll be there day one to see that one because that's going to be one of those ones where I have to see it in the theater. There's no way I could just miss that one. So, but yeah, so that's why I want to bring to your attention. Excuse me, you guys. And yeah, that's all I have for that one. So yeah, the more information, like I stated, if I hear any more, I'll let you know who else is cast. So with that, moving on. Speaking of genres, I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm loving the work that Blumhouse is putting out, Blumhouse Productions. Jason Blum is really taking a knack to making sure he just gets people excited about definitely movies and genres in action. I know his area, honestly, that I'm catching him being more involved with was been the horror. I know he's trying to get more into dramas and, of course, action movies as well. Of course, being a part of Get Out. He's actually working on the TV series Purge. We have a couple sequels in line. And, of course, Halloween coming out soon. Now he is kind of putting out here his feelings about wanting to be involved with working with the Dark Universe. Now, I talked about this, I'll say like over a year ago on my old show, and I was excited about it because the first movie to actually come out to start the Dark Universe, and those all the different horrors, just like, we have, of course, The Mummy, we have Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, The Invisible Man, possibly Dracula, The Creature of the Black Lagoon, and, maybe The Phantom of the Opera, and The Wolfman, all these different type of movies. And I was excited because the first one was the movie that Tom Cruise did, which was The Mummy. Now, I will say this. It was starring him, Russell Crowe, and Sophia Boutella. I really enjoyed it for what it was, but the thing that kind of ruined it for me with it was the fact that they felt the need to show everything in all those trailers. That's why I hate when they do a lot of TV spots and all these little small little trailers here, or the trailer before the trailer, giving away too much. I felt like if they kept it back, it did okay in the States, and it did a lot better overseas, but it was very critically panned overall, and it kind of halted Dark Universe and what they were planning. Because even with Russell Crowe in it, he played the character like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. The potential was there, hopefully, to go into his past and bring see an origin story with him, possibly. But now that it has been halted, because I was excited to see Johnny Depp was going to be attached to do the Invisible Man. They talked about Javier Bardem being the Frankenstein. Then Angelina Jolie was, being thrown out there to do Bride of Frankenstein. Just the list could go on. And those names alone was enough to get me so excited and hyped for this. So when this happened, I got kind of like, okay, here we go. So they basically, he's really put it out. This is what I'm going to say. Jason Blum, whatever. He was doing an AMA on Twitter, and the topic of Dark Universe came up. Now, a fan asked Blum if he'd be willing to take control of the Dark Universe to help give it another life, and he simply just said yes to him. Now, that's nice, and that would be great. But I feel like Universal still feel like they have a chance to do what they need to do to revive it. I don't see nothing wrong with trying to work with them. If you see what Blumhouse is doing, and if you want to work with them, then see if you can tie it, because whatever you all are doing does not seem to be working, honestly, right now. I don't know if they have anything planned, because claiming that they're having these behind closed door, meeting of the minds to kind of start, things back up again. Okay, fine. Are they going to still be the same cast members for those particular standalone movies? What's happening? Who's being signed to do the Wolfman? What else is going on? Now, granted, I did hear Max Landis has been kind of, itching to consider doing the Creature of Black Lagoon. Don't know if still is going to happen, because he's so busy considering finalizing the script on doing the remake of The American Werewolf in London. So I don't know what's going to happen right there. But I mean, it's possibilities. I have no problem with that. But if Blumhouse, they're doing great with the way they are. They have the sequels being Glass coming out, and of course Happy Death Day 2. So they have a couple of things lined in, but I'm looking forward to seeing their take on Halloween, which comes out in October. So I don't think it's not a bad thing to look into it and see suggestion. If somebody's putting it out there, give them a call. Jason, give him a call, do it, because a lot of us who are fans of the Dark Universe would love that, whichever. Plus, I like the way they go about doing the movies, because they don't use some big budget, whatever, and then it turns out being bad. But they do a more lower budget, whatever, so they can concentrate truly on their storyline, whatever, and all that, and it ends up doing good at the box office, and it makes really good money. So there might be a different way to get that movie out there, and I feel like if you have all this stuff going, like they did, honestly, with Tom Cruise's, The Mummy, big budget, this, whatever, and all that, and they were probably expecting to do even better, even more, and I probably did. He did get the people in the theaters, because I was one of the main ones that was there, but I just don't know. So I'm kind of up in the air about that. So hopefully it's kind of stalled. Something makes me think they stalled on the possibility with Dark Universe, whatever, and all that. They're going to keep pitching, but hopefully moving forward, if not this year, next year, we'll start hearing more stuff about what they're trying to do, who might be cast in certain movies or whatever, or they still have the same actors still considering, but everybody's kind of put it on hold to do other projects, and they'll come back to it and start all over, because it was like a rejuvenation of sorts for it, whatever, and all, to get everybody excited again. And I'm excited. I just want to know what's going on. What's the next step? What are you all doing? So, but yes, but speaking of Blumhouse as well, when I was talking about him wanting to be involved with Dark Universe, we already see that they seem to have a niche with it now. So I know he wants to resurrect other horror movies. And I'm excited at the thought. Some that are coming out that he's considering and he's liking the thought of doing, which were very interesting picks. One of them was Christine. I do love the original. The original is good. I don't know how I feel they did a new one, honestly. That is a good movie right there. Also, another movie they're considering doing, which is a shock to me, The Serpent and the Rainbow. Now, that is a good movie, and that's a creepy movie. I can get behind that one. That one wouldn't be too bad. Another one that some people have put out, they said they would love to consider the Friday the 13th. But they're dealing with, legal battles right now, so that's not going to get done. Another one that's come up, then talking about the Freddy, Krueger stuff, I don't know. It's a possibility. I doubt that very seriously. One that I think they could do, and I have no problem with it because it's been over 20 years, The Blob. I remember the last one that came out that was really good. We'll have to see. I don't know. Christine, I'm a little iffy on that, but I want to see what other ones they might throw out there that he might want to resurrect and bring out there, because you already know how I feel. I remember they were resurrecting Pet Sematary to redo that one, not Blumhouse, but the thought of them doing that, and some of the horrors that are just good still to this day, just feel like they should not be touched, but they feel this need to do them. And honestly, you hope it does well, because when it doesn't, it's like, oh well, I'm going to go ahead and pull out the old one that I like that's from, say, the 80s or maybe the 70s, because it still stands up. Because if it didn't, people wouldn't be considering remaking them, honestly, because that people still love the original. But that's just my personal feeling of that. So, but yes, but moving on. And speaking of horror, something happened in the beginning of this week. I wasn't aware until I saw a little bit on social media towards the end of this week. I want to say Wednesday, Thursday, kind of came across whatever. Supposedly, YouTube had to remove a particular ad involving the movie The Nun. Supposedly, which is not a good idea. However, it invokes certain things. Supposedly, they said YouTube noted that the ad violates the company's ban on shocking content promotion. So supposedly, it was a short spot emulating a previously released trailer, which was the one that came out back in June, showing Thaisa Farmiga, plays a nun with a supernatural connection to an evil entity. Several jump scares are present in the trailer, including an immediate switch in tone while viewing an image of the nun and a figure rushing out and Farmiga as she searches through the abandoned tunnel. We all remember that last scene of the when she turns around and the nun comes from the opposite end. There's a possibility that the trailer is simply cut in a manner to build this kind of tension for the viewer, and that's a possibility. So I don't know exactly how this particular ad was. I think it was pulled already. I don't know if somebody was able to record it, but if it was, somebody did a reaction to it, YouTube probably already got rid of them, because I haven't seen anything. None of the people that I follow have brought this to my attention. I have not seen it on their channels, so I'm assuming it's no longer to be found. And I'm going to tell you like this, all that is right there, even if it's considered a negative thing that came out, is good press for them, because everybody's really looking forward to seeing the nun. It's very creepy. She's creepy looking, and all it's going to do is get people in the theaters. And then they're going to probably like, what, this is probably working to our benefit, because now people are talking about the movie, and they are talking about the movie. So I'm not going to worry about it. I didn't see it. I don't know what happened, or hopefully nobody had a heart attack watching it or whatever. I know a lot of people don't care for the jump scares, but honestly, this seems to be this new phase with horror, whatever, when they do minor jump scares, and it just happens like that, whichever. So I just kind of go with the flow. I'm looking forward to it. It looks like it's going to be creepy. I'm here for a good horror, and I'm not going to worry about it, but some people, they just don't like that. So they're not about to stop jump scares, whatever, for one movie, whatever. So people have to get over that part, because it's not going to happen. So, but moving on. Now, next order of business for a new movie, look like our boy Liam Neeson, you guys, is going to be a nice little snowplow driver. He has a new movie coming out called Hard Powder, and I was taken aback by the name, because I was just like, what in the world? So it's a new action flick he's working on, and that seems to be his signature niche. He loves these action flicks. His recent one that he did was The Commuter, not bad, whichever. It was, pretty good. He holds his own per usual, saving the day, kicking butt here and there, whichever. Now, I'm going to read the premise of this movie. He's like, portrays a snowplower driver out of revenge against the drug cartel who killed his son. Now, the full synopsis is this. The role of Nels Cogsman, which is played by Leeson, he's a snowplower driver beloved enough in his small town in Colorado, skiing town, to have won the award of Citizen of the Year. Fancy. Nels lives pretty quiet life, uneventful existence alongside his wife, played by Laura Dern. I'm excited about that. And their son. That is until his child is murdered by a local drug cartel, leading Nels to sidestep law enforcement and seek his own brand of revenge. Doesn't that sound kind of familiar to you? Take it. Using only the tools of an outdoorsman and snowplow driver. So just reading the synopsis, it's just like, let me put it like this. That name, once we see the trailer, it better have some good action, whatever, and all that. Some people will see this, but that right there, I don't know. I am a fan of Liam Neeson. I mean, that man has a body of work, a body that I love of work. So I've been watching him since the 80s. So I don't know. I mean, Grant, like I said, he did Taken, he did the sequels to Taken, he did the movie The Gray, The Commuter, what is it, Run? What is it, Run All Night? Yep, I remember, I wrote that down. He's done many things, Nonstop is another one I enjoyed. So, Yeah, yeah. Once we see a trailer, I'll kind of see how I feel. Like, we'll kind of go with the flow of that. But one thing I will say, this is a remake of a movie that came out in 2014 called In Order of Appearance. So I'm looking forward to it. And I think the director's name, his name, if I'm not mistaken, is Hans Petter Moland. Yes, his name is that. I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember what I said for his last name. But yes, I'm looking forward to this since this is a remake. And come to find out, he's going to be the same director to actually direct the American version of this. So because I think it was considered a Norwegian film. So yes, I'm actually excited to see this. I need to see the first one. I'm thinking about seeing the first one to kind of get a little bit more of a better feel for how I'm thinking how this is going to go. But if he did the first one and it was a very good movie, a good hit with them, then I'll give it the benefit. And he's going to put his little take on it. He better make it good. It's got to be good. I'm like, this is all drug cartel in Colorado. Okay. Not to say it's not far fetched or anything, but it's out there. So, this man is just a regular man who's a snowplower, and then he's just going to take it upon himself. No cops, whatever, and all. He's going to do the deed and handle it, huh? Like you, yeah, okay, but yeah, that's just my take. So, but they're also calling for an early release for this movie, and actually, they're probably getting ready to start production on this because this is slated to come out in February of next year, not 2020. This is coming out in February of 2019. So that means they're probably getting ready to go into production for this. That's going to be interesting. Like that's a quick turnaround for the movie to come out. That means they must be working on it right now. Furthermore, if he is, that means he probably would not be doing any real press for the movie Widows because he's actually in that with a very star-studded cast. So that'll be interesting. Once that gets ready to come out in November, late September, October, they're going to be doing a lot of movie premieres for the movie. And a lot of interviews as well with Viola Davis and Michelle Rodriguez and all these other people who are in the movie. If he's not in any of them, that lets you know he's definitely on location doing this movie. So, but yeah, I'm gonna keep my overall thoughts were, like I said, if they have a trailer coming out towards the end of the year, December, January, then it's fine, whichever. They never know because that is very close in time right now. We are actually in August right now. I don't know how long it normally takes a movie, but 3 months to make, whatever, and then editing wise. So we'll see. They might even push it back past February and make it March or April. So I don't know. But for right now, it is February. So I will see if there's any other information for this one because I'm curious to know who's going to play the son, who are the bad guys. We don't know the rest of the cast. They might be unknowns, whatever. But him and then Laura Dern being in it has me very excited to consider watching this movie. So with that said, moving on. My last discussion, and this one I had to save for the last because I'm saving the best for the last. I have waited long enough that this movie's coming out. Well, not coming out, but it's getting ready to start production. I can't say how happy I am because a lot of us have been waiting. I've talked to my friends. We were talking about movies, some movies we're waiting for that we're supposed to be waiting, to come out, whatever. I'm beating around the bush, but I'm excited for it. Bad Boys 3. Will Smith, Martin Lawrence. Finally. 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 Now, this is what's happening, okay? Will Smith has, of course, already finished doing Aladdin and Gemini Man. I'm excited because I remember when he was working on that prior to when Bright had came out for Netflix. He was already in production with that during the time of that movie coming out and getting, some controversy, whatever, in regards to, the way the storyline was being dictated, human with an alien, whatever. It just reminded me of a different show, Alien Nation. Just it was a great movie. I enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to them doing another break, which he is actually going to be doing as well. Now, the case is this: the directors on here, and I had to write their names down because they're very unique. There's two directors who will be working on the Bad Boys 3 movie. It's Adil El Arbi and Bilal Fallah. They're attached to this particular movie. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to bring to the table. I love the first one. The second one was good. So that means they got to bring, because this comes full circle. We have waited, and this has been off and on for a quite amount of years. Now, Martin, he kind of, took a step back from Hollywood, wasn't really doing anything for a while. He did a couple of things and he had a little episode and he came out, did a few things, but then he just kind of took a break. Now he's kind of gotten back out doing his comedy, touring around with his comedy show tour with some other comedians, just kind of getting that feel with him and all that. He's on Instagram, he does little things with him and all that and everything like that. So at least we know they've been talking about this. The hold was for a minute, honestly, because Will Smith has been straight busy. And now that he's finished, those where he's lined up to start doing this. Now they're stating this, because I wanted to note this. Production for Bad Boys 3 Bad Boys for Life starts in November, and it's to go from November to March because they're looking to have a release in 2020 for this movie, and preferably early in 2020, if I'm not mistaken, January to be fair. Now, after that finishes, Bright 2 will start, and that will start late March, early April, because they want to go ahead and start it right after that because they had to push back Suicide Squad, which is perfect because that's why they're able to start Bad Boys for Life, because Suicide Squad has definitely been pushed back because of other people in the movie as well. Because like I said, Jared Leto, he's already getting ready to work on some movies that are in production, which is Morbius, whichever. And of course, we have our girl Margot Robbie. She's getting ready to do Birds of Prey, whichever. She's working on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, with Quentin Tarantino. So she's busy too. So everybody in these other movies are busy. That's why they kind of pushed the movie back. Plus, the director, I think, is working on something else. So that's kind of a good thing because it gives them time to work on that. And you know what? I'm happy because that one has been a long time coming. So, but they definitely plan on doing that one going into the fall of 2019. So that's going to be pushed all the way to the end of that year. So, and that is fine. So, but yeah, you guys, we finally going to get that Bad Boys. I don't know how some people are, if they, still, like the thought of Will and Martin getting together and all that. But I love their banter. I love their characters working together. Plus, they're both funny guys. Of course, Martin definitely, of course, he's got the funny bone and then some. But I just want to see that. Plus, I want to know, is Gabrielle Union's character going to come back? Because she, they were having her and Will's character were, keeping their relationship secret from, of course, her brother Martin Lawrence's character. So I'd like to know if she's going to come back, and that would be nice if they bring her back and come to find out they're together. They might be married now, whatever, because it's been quite a few years since the last one. So I would hope, because if they don't, that can be like, he could be mad at him, like, you date my sister, what's up? That could add to banter to some of the storyline on top of the working a case. So you never know. So that's just my 2 cents on that part. So, but I'm excited. I'm like, I've been waiting for this movie, and I love those. And also, once it's done, I want my box set. I want my 1, 2, 3. So, girl wants what she wants. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that, you guys. So yeah, that's basically it. So, guys. So, but yes, other than that, nothing else, posted for the time being. Next weekend, probably won't be posting a movie news. If I do, I might do 1 or 2 stories real briefly at the beginning, probably Thursday or Friday. I might upload something because next weekend I have plans with some girlfriends of 31 years. We're planning a girls' weekend trip, and gotta make time for life. So that's why I said I want to put something out. Of course, this weekend might do a little something for you guys. Whatever. I like to always try to holler at you guys every weekend with something to talk about. So yeah, so I have to keep you all posted. I might still do something, whichever, and just post it over the weekend real quickly, whichever. But most of the time will be spent hanging out with some friends. When you have a good friendship like that, trust me, you got to make the time in it, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm just looking forward to some downtime to hang out with some friends, and just enjoy some, company and conversation and good food. So, but with that said, you guys, I hope you enjoyed the movie news. Comment below. Let me know which one of the things I discussed that you all looking forward to seeing. You might want to enjoy. If you know any other additives to add to it, to let me know that it's something I missed in some of those certain things I discussed on topic. By all means, I have no problem with that. I welcome it. And with that said, I will see you on the next movie news, you guys. You guys take care.